Probably. They thought, all right, let's just roll over these old Polish dudes, but they learned quickly.
The other thing is also, we did see Budapest 5 playing Mirage earlier, right?
Today?
Yeah, today. Their first best of one, it was Mirage, I think.
Yes, yeah, when they beat Nordic.
Yeah, yeah. So Torsi was re-peaking like nothing else, man. Like Torsi re-peaked a lot with his AWP, and if they're able to punish poison with their pinches, I'm worried for Torsi. To be perfectly honest, we talked about how he's an opera who needs to start off hot. If he's feeling underconfident, it feels like he overcompensates or undercompensates. It's never quite right smack down in the middle. So that could be a problem. Now, the one thing that you have to remember is Corey's a beast. Corey's got four legs. He can howl at night. He's a lone wolf.
Yeah.
And I think he could just eat them alive, potentially. Oh, indeed.
Someone DC'd.
Coolio's here. If I Torsi, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But the point is that Budapest 5, they have holes, but they also have the ultimate band-aid, which is Corey being really good at clicking heads. The other thing about Corey's playstyle, which I think might be problematic towards Honoris as well, is that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm terrible at judging player playstyles. I think Corey doesn't re-peak that much, so he will take that one deal, reposition for a different angle, reposition for a different angle again. It's not like he plays very static, which is kind of what Complexity sometimes tends to do, because they're just so super confident in themselves. So, you know, there are differences in Salamander where their firepower is less than Complexity, but it might be the right kind of firepower to punish Honoris. Let's see whether that will be the case, though. Budito and Corey on this A bomb site. Nades pulled out from Budito. Shouldn't be doing too much damage. Corey's found 1, 2. Could it be 3? Yes, it can. There you go, baby. Corey's back. Corey's here to play. And you know what, Honoris? You ain't never seen a beast like this one.
Oh, man. Corey, what a round to start off with, man. He's the player that we are always highlighting from this Budapest 5 team, and he already starts off with 5 right here. You could tell his teammates backed off right then and there. They all are like, no, we're going to give you the space. Yep, like, take it, get the ace, and then
let the monster have his time.
He did not let them down. What a round from him, man.
Beautiful as well. I don't even think he used the full 12 bullets.
I don't think he ran out, no.
Yeah. Well, Budito.
Ooh.
He's got to be careful. Ooh, they've gotten so much ground, and Neo isn't dead. It's actually Budito to fall. Flashy, who's playing on the other side, who was supposed to be the one giving backup, is saying, Budito, why are you so aggressive? Why you got to do that? In the meanwhile, Neo's recovered the Famas, dropped it over to Taz as well, who's got full HP. Torsi's been located and brought down. Corey will take away Neo's life, but only after Neo's found one of his own. Corey flashes over. He's located. Prism to take him down. Listen, I know you just beat Complexity, but are you stealing their strats too now? Lose the pistol round just to the CT side economy is even worse after you win that force buy?
Ooh, yeah. I'm just surprised Honoris was able to get so much ground so quickly. They really knew what they wanted to do with their grenades, and that aggressive play towards underpass may have cost Budapest 5 right here. If they played a more standard, just 1-3-1 setup, just focus on cat, window, and connector, this might have not gotten so out of hand. But Budapest 5 just, we talked about how they really didn't get too aggressive on Inferno, but on Mirage, they kind of were playing with their food a little bit in this one, and it came back to bite them as Taz finds that final kill onto Coolio. It's not what you want to see if you're Budapest 5, but Honoris, on the other hand, very good procedure, very good call. Instantly identifying the weak point in the mid defense and just brutalizing it, just sprinting up connector and destroying them. I love it. I love how reactive they were there.
And I think this is one of the best things you can do as a newer team. That you plan for things that will 100% happen and just have 1 or 2 set strats initially. Nice nade, Neo. Ooh, I like it. I really, really like it. But you know that sometimes you will lose a pistol. Just have 1 set strat, man. Just 1 force by set strat. And you can see that's exactly what they dry run a million times in scrims. in server and, you know, obviously in scrims as well. So good to see that coming through. Honoris do capitalize, but the question is, can they continue? The kill on the flash is good. It's great. Flashbang forward as they do pop themselves into connector. Stomp is tagged down to 73. I think that was actually a headshot through the wall. Badito wanting to ramp up the pressure, but over to the B side they go. It's a correct read from Budapest 5. Torzi gets a good shot on the Taz, but can't finish him off. Coolio, he's magical with the pistols, pulls out the AK, but that's a mistake, which Neo and Rico will quickly make sure he is punished for. Corey, with the smoke in his hands, can't be doing too much with it. Storm from behind will be finishing this round off. Really nicely done from Honoris. They might even be able to recover that AK-47, and indeed they do. So 2 AKs and an MP9 save forward. They do lose 2 players, but to a force buy, that's actually pretty clean.
Yeah, all things considered, that's not terrible for the side of Honoris. They still get the round victory, of course, on top of it. And with that, they will be faced off against 5 starter pistols for the side of Budapest 5. And an early molly towards connector, duels towards middle. Torzi takes down Stomp, who really wanted those eco frags, you could tell. I'm sure Neo already communicated at that point that there were players in window. Will that come back to bite them? Neo is very low. Prism's on this bomb site, but he gets dinked and is somehow able to recover. This looks like it would be clean from this point forward. They really needed to take Prism out, but now that he has secured himself a great position at bench, this should be pretty clean for Honoris here, as they likely secure their 3rd round.
Maybe not eco frag, like hunt eco frags with an AK-47, Torzi. That can't be great, especially when you've actually opened up. Not Torzi. Why am I saying Torzi? It was Rico. But especially when you opened up things for Torzi to now potentially go forward. Now, Molotov missing is not great. Torzi's being picked by Neo, who's got no HP whatsoever, but he doesn't care anyhow. Coolio left with an AK-47 to his name. Will this angle be checked? Neo's still hunting. He's not going to check the angle. Coolio was considering going for the knife. I would have quite liked that, but instead he decides to save the AK instead. It's a smart move, even if it isn't the fun move.
No, yeah, you'd definitely rather have an AK over a $1,500 kill reward. You take that any day of the week. And all things considered, securing your 2,700 in the AK, along with the 300 kill reward, it's double the money right then and there, as opposed to risking a potential.
But
the fun.
1,500 plus 2,700 plus fun.
Yeah, if you could. If it works out. If it works out. A little less risk, though, to just go for the shot. Can't blame him. Would have loved to see it, but I think he saw the name tag pop up, and he was like, Neo, I can't knife him. There's no way. And then he just had to go for it. So a tactical timeout pretty early on from Honoris here. Interesting decision from the team. But we saw them go for a lot of these against Complexity, too. They use, I think, 3 timeouts on their T side against Complexity, and they won 10 rounds. So it's not like they necessarily were always calling timeouts off of round losses. It's just, it just seems like it's something they want to do to secure their game plan. And like I said, I mean, I've been a proponent of it for the entire time I've been casting Home Sweet Home, and likely for the rest of my life. I think there's probably 5% of the time is a timeout a bad timeout. I do not think this is one of those times. They just want to make sure that they win the first gun round. So the fight starts. Torzi shooting right between the legs of the opposing Opera right there in Stomp. And how will Honoris convert this? Interesting smokes come out for them. Will allow them a lot of space. Torzi just barely peeking above the smoke right there. Takes down Taz. The second off comes into play as Flashy takes down Rico. And now Torzi here towards Spawn is annihilated by Neo.
Welcome to the Matrix. The one is here. Can he flick for that one? No, he can't. Coolio will shut him down. Turns out sometimes Agent Smith wins. And that's when you don't find out about the Matrix. It's all perfectly fine, guys. You're not living in a simulation whatsoever. It's all okay. Flashy, you won't die over here. Stomp almost gets himself another advantage, but unfortunately Prism can't quite follow through. Prism saw the player jumping over towards a ticket box potentially. Now question is, can he peek out from the side? Stomp's already found one. You need to take down that sandwich player. Stomp will instead be coming in for the no scope, and Corey brings him down. Corey, good old reliable Corey. 3 for 2. Budapest 5 will have an economic advantage over here. I'm not actually sure if Honoris buys into this.
Yeah, gotta point out though again, Corey, 5 rounds in, 8 kills. I mean, off of a pistol ace, but still, it's not like he's really fell off too hard. I mean, he's still been decent in these rounds. We'll see how it progresses.
I mean, put it this way: contact. Come on, man. Come on, make it happen.
I don't know if firepower is what they need anymore, to be honest. We'll see, though, Corey, if he can keep up that firepower. A nice opening kill on a Taz. Looking for more. He's able to get one. He has to play this angle to perfection to keep himself alive, and he does a 3rd headshot, and he continues to stay alive. Honoris cannot clear this man out of this position, and Corey finding the final kill as well. Oh, man. Corey, sure? I can't get enough of this guy.
Maui, are you sure they don't need firepower? Because that's a lot of firepower.
I mean, against against the level, yeah, against
if you can get simple, why not?
Corey, I mean, he's so consistent too. It's actually so nice to watch. Great supporting flashes though. Have to put that out there. Those helped him out a lot. Despite it saying Neo team flash, those weren't team flashes. That was the way that thing reads and gives flash assist is not necessarily who is the last flash. It's actually sometimes just the first one, and if it's continued, then the first flash that maybe half blinded a teammate will count. I don't, the programming,
it's a weird
behind
mechanic.
Yeah, the programming behind that is not flawless.
Now, ooh, almost getting that kill right there. Now, Honoris, they're probably not taking this one away, but if you can find some kills, you're always happy for that. Now, unfortunately, they can't. So you're not particularly happy for that, but they have gained control over jungle. So maybe you could see them transition through and take some sort of ground somewhere else. My feed's a bit laggy. I'm going to have to ask you to take over for a bit, Maui. I'm going to refresh.
Okay, no worries. 3v3 here, 5-3 scoreline. Honoris want to make something out of absolutely nothing in this round. Maybe Taz can do it, but stereo frags from these operas will prevent that from being much of a possibility. Good flash support from Bodito right there to set up Torzi, and Budapest 5 find their 4th round. They pull away with a 1-round lead. I think I might have said 5 by accident there. That's probably because I read the big 5 from Budapest 5 at the top of my screen, and we'll ignore that. And I'm sure no one even noticed I said that. So 4-3 though at this point. Torzi getting aggressive towards middle. A smoke at bottom con will set himself up to potentially find some frags here, but flashes come out and he is forced off of the angle. Good utility procedures from Honoris right there just to maintain some ground. They didn't always push poison off of the angles in the last game beautifully, but this is looking a little bit cleaner from them in this one here. They aren't having to rely on missed shots as much.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't mind any missed shots. It's good if they come through. You're not saying no at any point for that. And B-side defense needs to come in big because short has been infiltrated. They're going to be coming in from the side. They've already got 1 kill and they know where Coolio is as well. Coolio really likes his position, but they've seen him here, and that should be all she wrote. The B-bomb site has been taken. Neo, as always, on the lurk, comes in from behind. He's able to get himself that 1 kill, and there you have it. Easy round for Honoris.
Some missed shots from Stomp there, but the strategy was too good for it to even matter. Just a pinch from 3 sides on the B-bomb site. That's when it's impossible to hold. Sometimes you can make do. I mean, frequently you'll make do if it's just from that apartment. I'd say it's a little bit slightly T-sided if they're coming up cat and apartments. But when Neo is there flanking from window on top of that, I would give it 90% success rate, even higher at that point. Very good stuff from Honoris there, taking beautiful map control and using it to absolute perfection. Have to give them a lot of credit right here. It looks like their game plan of just taking map control and keeping things simple with a nice late lurk is the key to success right here. Budapest 5 double op setup doesn't allow you to be quite as dynamic when map control is taken away from you. At that point, it's just going to be shots that you have to hit. And at the end of the day, with how many positions Honors were approaching from, you have to be absolutely perfect with your mechanics, and you can't really ask that out of anybody.
Well, I mean, I can ask them from Corey. He has delivered that pretty often. He might be delivering that here now. Can he get multiple kills? He's looking to take the duel. Gets himself one, but that might not be enough because Taz and Rico have doubled that number. Neo, in the meanwhile, still late on the lurk, but Storm trades him away. This is so nicely done. They always have someone to accompany Neo up until he's gotten through the murder hole. And now in a 3v2, Honoris, they have the advantage, but it is not an absolute one until that happens and Flashy goes down. That should be it. That should be the round gone. Torzi will be brought down with a Q. Ooh, beautiful. P from Rico as well. And there you have it. 5 for Honoris. And money is bad for Budapest 5 if they lose both their ops.
Yeah, Budapest 5 here being relatively outmaneuvered. Honoris coming out on top with that one once again. I'm liking this T side from Honoris. It was good against Complexity. I didn't really think it was fluky per se, but it seemed like it maybe just kind of was working because the way Complexity was set up was very vulnerable to it. But this time around, I think it's actually showing that this is slightly more versatile than I may have first considered. Ooh, nice boost though here from B5 is able to find 1K, but will they be able to get more than that?
Taz, you want to push through that smoke, Taz? Yes, you do. 2 easy kills. Storm follows up as well. Torzi, well, I feel bad for him, Maui. It seems like pretty much every single time you see him, he is the last man left alive, and immediately after that, he dies. Taz gets $1,800 that round. Nice little cash injection pair.
Yeah, that is good stuff. Has Taz always been like a consistent entry fragger? Because I feel like that's his role on this team. I don't know if he was always that guy on. I guess Virtus Pro changed things a lot.
They varied things up.
Yeah,
so
they changed things up
much,
constantly. Yeah, so you can't really.
Bialy was the famous entry fragger though. Bialy was
That's what I
supposed to be the
thought.
one. Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, but let's see who's going to be taking up the lead over here. Maui, as the first fuel comes in, this is becoming troublesome because Coolio's found Prism. Rico still stumbling around, but in the process of doing so, might be able to find something. Corey, however, comes in with Badito to clean everything up.
Yeah, just Stomp remains, and he's quickly taken down. Good B hold from Budapest 5 right there. Honoris with a much more one-dimensional approach as they just fully exec from the apartments right there. And as I was saying earlier, I mean, that's kind of like more of a last resort for when your map control is not working out for you. I guess Honoris just wanted to keep the Budapest 5 defense a little bit more honest towards that bomb site, showing that they do have potential to throw those kinds of execs. Corey here with a little bit of a one-way towards middle. We'll see if this works out for him. He wants to play anti-flash, but this is a really strong one-way, and it results in another kill. So 5v3 advantage for Budapest 5 as they counter that really suffocating mid control that Honoris has been throwing out time and time again thus far. Oh, Rico, how does he get that one? Wow.
Didn't look like he should have, that's for sure. Now, still, they have pulled out harder rounds in this, and it's a good start with Prism taking down Flashy. Taz actually has the bomb all the way over towards the A bomb side. Maui, oh, Maui, this could be a big gamble. Let's see how it goes.
Is he going to be headed towards A, though, is the question.
Yeah.
I think he wants to join up with his teammate. Oh, but he might find a timing to flank one. There's no way they expect this right now, just given how they're positioning themselves and looking around the map. So this, wow, if this works out, Honoris in late round situations deserves a gold medal.
I believe.
I do too. Yeah, this is
And look at the repositioning from the short play, though.
I think this is it. I think Corey has the jig is up. Corey has now begun. Oh no, Corey! Looking at his flank. Oh, what? No! How does he miss that? Oh no! It all falls apart right then and there. I think Taz might not have counter strafed before he shot. That's. Oh man, I need to see it.
Yeah,
I think he flicked up. Yeah, I think he flicked up, or either he moved or flicked up. You can see the bullet landed high above to the left of Corey. Other than that, though, Honoris played that situation perfectly. That is crazy from them. I am really disappointed that they weren't rewarded, but we'll see if they're able to be rewarded here. Budapest 5, though, look like they will be putting up a formidable defense, but the floodgates are open, and Torzi says, I can stop water. I may be a waterbender, as he just stops them all in his tracks.
But can he save the world is the question. Dun, dun, dun.
Who is the avatar?
I mean, after Cora, I have to say it's got to be Corey. You know, Corey just disguised himself.
Yeah,
but
he's master of all elements.
I believe it. I believe it. 19 and 5, man. That's you got to have a lot of elements under your belt for that to happen. It's a scoreline that he even seems to bring up pretty consistently. Even against Complexity, he's been one of the few people who always frags, to be honest. So, always very impressive. Shot comes through. It's Torzi to win that duel out. Very important one as well. Otherwise, Stomp could have been the late round aggressive from Palace. Prism to take down Flashy. Taz looking to get aggressive, but Corey will bring him down.
Just Neo remaining in a 1v4. Does not look like he has much of a shot here. Will fall to Torzi. Nice clean round from Budapest 5. That was good position taken from Honoris, but it all just fell apart when there were too many players from Budapest 5 to deal with at that side of the map. An interesting approach on the defensive side from Budapest 5, but it works out fantastically for them. Last round of the half, Corey not actually buying head armor. Okay, there he finally goes. All right, I was a little bit scared. He was running out of spawn, and I'm sure he just pressed his armor bind to close things out, because he's facing off against 5 guns, 4 of which that would not take him out in one shot to the face. We'll see, though, if Torzi doesn't check his angles out, actually. Ooh, what? Oh, the foot! Oh, my goodness,
no!
Honoris, this is so puggy looking, but I feel like throughout all the mess, it is actually slightly calculated there and works out fantastically. Man, Honoris are just so fearless as a pack, and that's how they sometimes win some of these rounds in gun rounds, and of course they do it in pistols too, but we just saw in the previous round how much conviction they played with as Corey tries to bring back this 1v4, now 1v3, but they just run through any smoke, but they do it in groups. It's rarely like an individual will just plow through a smoke by himself, unless it's on some kind of lurk like Neo's been under, but like, this is so explosive. And if you look at the kill death here, now that we have this up, Corey and Torzi, 21 kills, 17 kills. But look at where the other players are on Budapest 5. Julio, Bodito, and Flashy just not coming up in this game. Honoris catching them off guard completely. And it's pretty even distribution across the board for the Honoris side.
And I don't think it's any surprise that these are the players who are actually playing around mid and who are actually rotating back towards market fairly often, because that's where it seems like every single time Honoris just has their number. They've been very good at getting mid control consistently. You can see the ADR on Corey, man. It's insane. 132 across a half. Utility damage not very high on Budapest 5 either. And that could be something that's actually very important to consider, because Honoris has been getting map control so early on with their aggression that if you had some well-timed grenades, that's a completely different story. Now, Budapest 5 do actually win out that half at the very least. So Honoris on their CT side has more to do than they did against Complexity, but let's see whether or not that'll come through. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing whether Rico will go for the same kind of aggression into A main and repeatedly that he did against Complexity.
Yeah, that would be a. That's a good question. I would similarly be interested. Can Budapest 5 put together the same kind of T side that they had against Nordovan, where I generally was. I wasn't necessarily impressed with their game plan, but it felt like some individuals, some nice execs, but it didn't like Honoris's T side felt so thorough to me. They showed execs, they showed aggressive mid control being taken, and even some late defaults working out for them. Like they showed a pretty complete playbook right there in terms of what you want from a T side. It only netted them 7 rounds, which, I mean, 7's good by any standard, but I want to see if Budapest 5 can have a similarly dynamic T side.
In all fairness, you do have the ultimate win condition in Corey as well, though. So maybe dynamism isn't really entirely needed. Maybe he can just do his best simple cosplay. But here we go, Corey and company. They will be able to get the bomb plant for free. Same retake that we saw earlier from Honoris. They just sent all their players back towards that CT side. Torzy will be taking duels towards short. Will he win that out? It's a difficult question to answer. Rico so aggressive. Already found all this ground, but Badito to take down Taz is troublesome. Rico needs to get this win, and he does finally do so. Smoke goes out as well. Torzy's trying to go for the good old jumping burst fire, but all in the meanwhile, the defuse is going on, and they have it. Coolio and Torzy. You can find the kills, but it doesn't matter. It's an objective-based game. Kind of.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised no one was able to find the shot on the diffuser there, but there was just so much chaos and commotion going on. Honoris were able to escape with a round victory there. Budapest 5, though, they got the bomb plant, and you know what that means in this modern money meta? That they will be able to bust out a better weapons buy than the CTs who won. So, yeah, we'll see how Honoris are able to deal with this one here, because this is always one of the most... This right here, if the Ts don't get a diffuse or a plant, you know, it's usually pretty easy. But this right here is usually where it becomes one of the most difficult rounds in Counter-Strike now, where it's just so chaotic, so many things are happening, and it looks like that's the case right here, right now. 3v3 situation, pretty even HP across. Bodito and tagged up to a similar degree, but now that Budapest 5 are in a 3v3, we've seen what they were able to do against Complexity. It would be up to Prism to try to stop them. He has a great off angle right here, but he isn't able to find any kills. Takes Torzy down to a single HP, but it is not good enough. Now Taz and Rico, they have to try to find something here. They have good position already in this round, but will they even want to go for it? They didn't find anything, and I think that will send them packing. I think Taz will bust out his $2,000 knife and run away in just a second here. Look at that beauty. Skeleton fade. Jesus, man. I was going to say I don't know where Taz gets the money, but then again, I remember some of the VP comments.
Yeah. That is a very... You know what I like about the fades, Maui? They all look like popsicles.
They are just so colorful, and I can agree that you would have that if that were a popsicle in that one. Ooh, Torzy dying, actually. He was tagged up to 1 HP, but
1 HP.
That doesn't have too much consequence on the round. Will make them lose out on a little bit of utility. But back to the fade knife, it is just so beautiful because... Yeah, dude, if you had a choice of popsicles and there were every knife in the game of Counter-Strike, I think the fade would have to be my pick if I just saw them all as treats, you know?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. Corey pushing forward, he sees a couple of treats, but Taz will be treating him to some despair as he and Rico have come through with 2 kills of their own. Taz still alive, still kicking, but can he kick these fools off of his bomb site is the question, as he can't re-peek out till it's too late. Coolio's got the angle, Coolio knows where he is. He's pulled out the Molotov, but it won't be doing much. Flashy checking that little gap in the smoke, but he turns away, could be the wrong thing to do. Gets up close and personal. Flashbang's pulled out. He's pushing forward. He gets 1. Can he get more? He shouldn't be able to do so, but he's been allowed a bit too much. Still a 2v1. Badito has the advantage that they don't have a kit and they'll have to move quick. Smoke goes out. They should be checking this. Badito gets 1. The spray transfers there. Taz despite having a heroic round, can't quite finish it off. And Bandito, it had to be the player on Palace who brought him down, but he gets that kill. Neo had to win that duel, but he was a bit too quick in backing off into Palace.
Yeah. I've noticed a couple times this game, Neo has had instances where he's in a kind of an awkward position and where some kind of younger guns would back off and, or just take the fight right then and there. He wants to get to something a little bit better. Rico, nice opening kill. This is a nice A stack for Honoris, but it doesn't look like it will result in too much. Actually, 2 kills isn't bad, all things considered, but Budapest 5 will still walk away with the victory and 3 alive. And yeah, to go back to that same kind of incident happened where Neo was flanking from window into market, and there was a player fighting him from CT, and some players know that guy's they're gonna react instantly. They're gonna be like, oh, that guy's gonna swing on me, I have to just hold my ground and fight. But Neo's like, I want to just keep myself alive, which, you know, is in most sense the proper Counter-Strike play, but in the micro you will get cut off like that. But Neo catches off Torzy this time. Corey, nice response. 4v4.
Corey's the man alive, though. It's more like a 7v4 when Corey's around, honestly. Guy's insane. But Coolio's the one to actually come through with the frag. Taz has been good on the CT side. Can he be better? As a Molotov does spread towards him in the very last instances. That's so annoying when that happens. Oh my goodness. The last few ticks of a Molotov, they are as random as it gets. People who say computers can't generate true randomness, look at Counter-Strike Molotovs.
Yeah, it's a little, they're a little bit messy, but 2 players on the bomb site. Ooh, Honoris actually stacking the right bomb site with 2 players. Prism completely blind, somehow gets flashy. Now it's a 3v3. This is very doable. Okay, well,
never mind.
Yeah, okay, that's that. Corey and Coolio connect with 2 kills of their own and just leaves Rico in the 1v3. No utility, no kit. Not much of a hope, but we'll see if he's able to make anything out of nothing. And he pushes on forward, and Coolio continues his hot streak for the round, finding his 3rd frag and shutting down Honoris there. But Budapest 5 with a nice lead here. 4 up, 12-8 scoreline, and they call a timeout. Kind of taking a page out of Honoris' book. You win a couple, and you decide you maybe need to think things over here. Maybe sort out the buy for Honoris. What do they actually have in store for them on the opposing defense?
I'm trying to figure out a way to put this, which is where I feel like Budapest 5 have a better compromise between their skill and their structure than Complexity do. And I think that's actually why Honoris is maybe losing this one.
Yeah, I think something that strikes me about Budapest 5 also is just that they're seemingly so top heavy. I don't know if that's like, it's just kind of different. I don't know. I wouldn't say one thing is better than the other, whereas Honoris probably, I think, have a more even distribution of frags in this game, but like Corey is, I don't want to say simple. He like reminds me more of electronic. Like he just, he's just a Terminator everywhere he goes, and he just absolutely wrecks people all the time. There's no simple in this game. There's no, I mean, simple is a hybrid that.
I mean, you're saying if electronic is the Terminator, what is simple?
Oh, simple is like, he's like Mr. Like, who, I can't even liken him to a single person. Like,
I know the perfect analogy.
Okay, you go. You know, yours,
you know the comic book series where Superman goes crazy and he goes evil because Joker kills his son.
Okay, no, I don't know this particular series, but
this is like an alternate DC universe. Superman basically goes evil and he decides to take over the world, and Batman has to try and stop him. But Superman's just so powerful that obviously, you know, that's where you actually see how powerful Superman really is. That's what simple is to me.
Okay, yeah. I was kind of thinking Superman because he just has a little bit more versatility, even though in the films they've I feel like in
nerfed
the
him.
old cartoons, yeah, in the old cartoons, he had so many powers. Like I don't see him really use his laser eyes too much in films, even though he has like a million opportunities to just laser someone.
Yeah.
And like he used to be able to like
Blow ice.
like use his blow ice and like stop things with his breath. Like I don't think that's happened in any of the last few films with him. So like cartoon Superman is simple. Terminator kind of Juggernaut is electronic, where it feels like electronic just has a force field around him at times, because it just runs out, takes 3 50-50 angles, comes out on top in all of them, still manages to stay alive and then secure the round too. Like it's and when he anchors, he's untouchable too, in ways that are just like, it's hard to explain. So that's been Corey for me in this game, and we'll see if Honoris are able to melt T1000 here with their own Terminator, or who will step up.
Can they have their Christian Bale?
Christian Bale.
I don't actually remember who the guy was who,
well,
like what his name was, the John something.
Oh yeah, well in the Terminator 2, it was Arnold that took out T1000.
Yes.
So we could just call him Arnold. Who will be their Arnold?
Sure.
Just for the sake of knowing, because I don't know who actually did in the first film.
Well, here comes the execute. It's time for the Terminators to come alive. Stomp will need to jump up onto the box and take it if he wants to get visibility. He does do so, but he's punished for it. Rico, though, does get 2. Torzy to do the same. 3v3 with bomb yet to be planted. Keep an eye out for Flashy, because he's the one circling in from behind. He could be the one to make it all happen. As he's checking all the angles, Taz is repositioning for him. Will he realize he looks away the wrong time, and Flashy comes through to bring him down. Torzy will also take away Prism, and it's Neo. Very fitting Arnold, but unfortunately Arnold is old now. And there you go.
That's rough, but it's true. It's true. Arnold isn't the same man, and after years of perpetual steroid use, you will fall off in one respect or another.
I don't know, man. He's still pretty built.
Well, yeah. I mean, you won't lose it all, but like, you don't know what else is going behind the scenes in terms of his health. And I mean, like, give the benefit of the doubt. Good for Arnold. He still looks great. He does still look good. But
what do you mean steroid use?
He's been public about it, which is why I bring it up.
Okay, fair enough.
It's
I didn't know that.
The golden era of bodybuilding wasn't rampant like it is today, where people just look insane. But like they used. I don't know why I'm giving a golden era bodybuilding history lesson, but they use like a little bit of testosterone and just like. It was much lighter, much lighter. That's why it had a more natural look to it all. But they still did, at the end of the day, use some steroids. Not as much as today.
Now it looks like if Michelangelo... You know what? Hold that thought. Because Neo is a bit of an artist himself. But unfortunately, he's left his paintbrush at home. And he's quickly sent home by Coolio to go and get it. 3v5. Flashbang to come in. Budito and company. Well, they just like, you know what? Let's chill. There's 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. This is a call I like to make so often, but it doesn't always work out. But I do quite like the call, which is where you say, you know what? Let's chill out for a while. Let's let them make some mistakes. Let's not just run into a CZ, have 3 people die, and have the MP9 finish the rest of us off. And I love this decision from them to actually go up from connector potentially, or even be short, because you avoid the guy on A cave. Yeah,
not a bad move from Budapest here. This has been a near flawless T side for them, and another good call coming out. But there are 2 players here at this B site, but Prism, without being able to find one, will likely do it for this round. And see what Stomp's able to accomplish from this. I just want to highlight here. Just give me a highlight, Stomp. All right, he gets taken down. Torzy makes simple work, literally holding W in his direction of that player. Taz remains with an MP9. It'd be nice to keep this gun into the upcoming round, given that Taz is the poorest player right now on the Honoris side. Despite what his knife would have you think, he doesn't actually have too much left in the bank. Haha. So we'll see if he's able to just at least keep the armor and the flash. It'd be nice. He might upgrade weapons regardless, but if Bodito gives him this AK. That would be a nice little reward here, and he just might. Torres, he doesn't even want to challenge this. Oh man, Taz, nice try to keep the AK there. Probably thought that no one would just peek right after the flash, but Torzi was actually kind of inadvertently pressured by the bomb because he had such low HP. He just had to run for his life. So if that were a normal 100 HP player, Taz might have gotten away with that one, but Torzi knew that he just had to sprint out of that bomb site.
Yep, this is the last chance they had on their own map pick, Honoris. This is their opportunity to come out on top. Torzi, nice shot to start things off though, and that'll make it troublesome. Rico, in the past, he's been assisted with flashbangs to try and take control of that angle pretty repeatedly. This time, unfortunately, it is not quite the same. 4v5, repositioning will be centered around mid, which might be a mistake as Budapest 5 are very much centered on the A side. They're very happy to send out and execute soon. They're just waiting to see whether or not they can have any further utility expended from Honoris before they choose to do so. But you have to be careful not to wait too long. Otherwise, if the smoke comes in around that 50 seconds mark, that's where things get tedious if you are trying to go through it.
Yeah, we'll see if the counter utility for Honoris is good enough to stop what looks to be an exec coming out from Budapest 5. A very standard call coming out from them here. Right side smokes. Oh, actually, it's a wall of smoke strategy. This is a little bit different, and I think the hole might have been found by the side of Honoris here. Corey, though, doesn't matter if you find a hole against him and you headshot him to boot, but he will still fight in his war path onto this bomb site. But Neo making it a little bit confusing. Smoke comes out, and Neo dancing around this site perfectly and beautifully is able to take down 2. Now Budito remains. He actually gets a 1v1 against him. Oh, and Flashy from Catwalk somehow taking down Taz and Stomp. It'll be all Neo, and that will do it. Flashy taking him down. A beautiful flank there for Budapest 5, and a nearly flawless T-side. I think that was all but one round, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, all but one round. But there were a few rounds where Honoris looked like they should have won. I would say this was included. Neo played that perfectly. But unfortunately, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but not did. 16-8, Budapest 5 have taken the first, and the way things are looking, the second should not be too much harder. But hey, you never know. Maybe Arnold comes back and makes a good run for it. And in the immortal words, I'll be back. Whooshing, whooshing, shing, 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 shing. That's a sound that you're about to hear in the knife round. My best intro so far, Maui.
That was. I just wanted to let it speak for itself. Honestly, I just want the noises now to. I want them to just start slashing away.
Ooh,
that's pretty accurate.
It's like you can't tell the difference.
That's pretty accurate noises too.
Thank you. I work on those in my spare time. What do you think I do all the time when, which is the reason why my analysis is terrible? You think I'm watching demos? No, I'm practicing CSGO knife ASMR.
Well, Honoris are happy with the noises that they made. And we're gonna see if they will pick the CT side. And they did, in fact, take it. I am.
Is the tapping working?
It doesn't sound that good.
Oh well.
It's not ASMR.
My bad. Wait, I know what to do. I know what to do.
I feel like that's a little bit aggressive for ASMR.
Okay, sorry. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Okay, I'm new to this.
You gotta watch some of these late night just chatting streamers and learn the ins and outs of the live ASMR.
That's definitely why I watch the just chatting streamers late at night.
Oh no, like that is that. I mean, I know what you're thinking with just chatting, and there are those people in there. So. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how. Let's see what Honoris chatted about. Let's see what they talked about with this map, because they haven't been too successful with it. They're 0-2 on Nuke in their attempts thus far. Budapest 5, on the other hand, they only have played this once with this 5-man lineup, but it was a pretty dominant victory against Endpoint. 16-7. Torzy quickly scaling outside. Budapest not even giving us time to talk about things. And Taz, great position, but not able to capitalize is Corey to find him.
Oh, no.
Now Prism wants to fight, but he's taken down by Bodito. And Budapest 5 are moving in from every single direction. They now own CT spawn. They said, this is where you bought guns. This is where we hang out now.
So many opportunities for CTs to get the advantage, but unfortunately just can't connect with their shots. It really looked like Budapest 5 should have been wiped out while they tried to take their way over towards heaven, but it was just unfortunate. Now, the retake is on. Stomp has a kit. Can they use it? Corey playing from behind, wanting to maybe peek out. Stomp should be going down, and indeed he does, even though there isn't a headshot, but weakness is still there. Reiko will be headshot down. Corey, 3 kills so far. Ye old faithful, as Neo, well, he's not going to have much faith left afterwards. All 5 players kept alive from Budapest. They even have 2 of them not taking a single point of damage, wishing they had Kevlar, because that would have been a $350 upgrade, but of course they were the ones who got utility. And there you go.
Yeah, nice aggressive round from Budapest 5, keeping up the momentum from the previous game where they dominated their T side. And now Honoris, they will have to put up a better fight on the CT side of Nuke. That being said, it is generally a more CT-sided map, but Dito, scaling out early, will face off against Stomp, who finds an early headshot. Stomp wants to continue the fight, but he isn't able to connect. However, some damage has been inflicted. Corey is down to 40 HP, and this scout may be retrieved right here. Taz has a lot of work to do right from this position. Deagle busted out, but he isn't able to connect just yet. Still a 4v4.
Nade goes through. Ooh, dear. I thought that would do a lot more damage than it did. But Taz. It's actually interesting. Corey goes forward first. He's only got 2 HP. Neo will be able to take him down easily. Back off and check for anyone coming in from main. Neo. No one's actually creeping forward. Flashy needs to come in and get something or the other, as they will be able to force rotations off the back of that. These 2 players are still in Mini. They go inside, get a good bomb plant in. This should be the round there, and then all off the back of 1 kill from Flashy, even though it looked like Honoris was in a good position, but the over-rotation will come back to bite them. And it is chomping hard. Flashy Good wraparound once again. He should be the player who's able to get this underneath lock and key. Neo, who scoped in, but Flash is brought down. Neo gets the kill as well. Flash's timing was just off the mark by a little bit, and there you have it. Bomb is not even planted, actually, from Budapest 5, which is huge as you go into the next round.
Yeah, that was that was a shame for Budapest 5 there. That may have been a little bit of an unnecessary play from Flashy, in all honesty. I don't generally like to be too critical about a single player's movements and positioning, but that could have just stayed around door and it similarly secured heaven for his team. But we'll see if Budapest 5 can fight themselves out of it. Corey, like we've been saying thus far, can do no wrong. Already 5 kills in this game. Looking for more as he spams through the roof of Mini. Taz still here, ready to fight. Knows that there's a player on top of him and on the ground, and he knows that this is probably a fight that he will be given, so he has to be very ready for it here. He's actually already expecting the drop to come out. It looks like positioning his crosshair far to the left here. Now turning up. He doesn't spot anyone just yet. Budapest 5 don't seem like they want anything to do with this outside position further. Taz seems to know this as well. It looks like it will, in fact, be a ramp hit. Prism is in a very strong off angle, but sometimes this can not work out for you, especially when lurk smokes like this come out and they are aware that there could be anyone in this kind of position. Now, Prism, he's holding the smoke. Budapest 5 are sitting in it. They're waiting. They're looking and hoping that when it fades, they will be able to find something. But they'll push out, actually, and it catches Prism off guard. He only finds one. Still, low HP on the side of Budapest 5 as they scale towards the lower bomb site.
Rico's in a good position. He could just shut them all down, and he even does a good job of opening the door early on because now he's got so much time, he could have even potentially rotated over. So the first player, that's Corey, has to play all the way from behind. Rico gets 2 great kills, but Corey had to continually play from next to glass because he has to be the one who spots out whether or not he's actually backing off from decon tap. He's the only one with that angle. So after that, when you're able to restrict movements that much, it's a little bit easier. Now, Corey might have stayed there anyway because it's a decent angle, but it just gives you a little bit more ease for my money when Neo is coming in from behind.
Yeah, so Budapest 5 lose that one, and we'll be on a bunch of nades. These will be flying towards Mini, but in a great position is Taz. He played that perfectly, actually. That was just the direct counter to it. Knowing that that kind of play is a possibility, playing deeper in Mini and just spamming the vent as opposed to actually getting line of sight with the door allows him to not only inflict a lot of damage safely, but dodge that utility damage. And a very good round from Honoris there. They build a lot of economy here. This is what you need on the CT side of Nuke. You don't want to fall into the hole early. Budapest 5, despite the pistol round, haven't been able to get anything since.
I like it. I like it from Honoris. I talked about how maybe they could have cleaned things up enough to be able to come back. Now remember, their issues weren't really on their CT side. Their CT side was where they were doing pretty well, actually, in both games against Contact. And what was the other team they played?
Saw, right?
So against Saw, they were able to get 7 rounds. Yeah, 7 rounds on the CT side. Against Contact, they still got 5, which, you know, it's not good, but it's not the worst thing in the world, at the very least. Now, however, despite losing the pistol, they are up 3-1. Corey and company having gotten a lot of ground towards heaven. This is also a nice little boost that they're going for. It means you don't have to come through from the ladder. Flashy's also found Rico, taking him down. Will be able to get so much space out into Hut, and Neo's revealed his position, as in the meanwhile, Corey was not expected. He's come forward, but Dito and Coolio are able to get a kill apiece, and in a 2 versus 4, Stomp and Taz have to try and save the day, or back off and look to fight another day. I would really prefer the latter when you consider that Stomp has the op, but Taz has got something else in mind as he gets one, almost flicks for the second. It's actually Stomp to take down Coolio, bring it back to a 2v2. Both positions are known, and it's a 1v1 as Taz gets one more kill. Now Stomp knows that Badito has dropped down. He heard the falling noise, but can he get the flick? Yes, he can! That was great. 2v4, they clean it up.
Yeah, they, I mean, I think most situations would call for the save there, but they were just forced into that. Taz was already aggressive at door right there, and just an overlooked position. I was ready to say for Budapest 5, there's nothing better than a great A pinch, where you come from Hut, you come from Mini, and you come from Heaven. But what position did I just not list? It's door. And that's where Taz was, and he has a great round just sticking there the whole time. And Budapest 5, they are definitely a little bit upset about that. They probably were not happy with how everyone positioned themselves. They probably thought the round was over. They still got aggressive despite the 4v2 advantage, and it fell right apart. Taz already towards lower now. He will be challenged by many players. Last time we had a deagle, he couldn't find anything. This time is the same. Instantly deleted by Corey, who is still having a very solid game, all things considered. Prism mollies that angle, but doesn't expect the push through. Corey continues to slaughter these Honoris players. Rico dancing outside with a lurk there, and now Neo wants to get involved, but it looks like it's a pretty clean round, all things considered for Budapest 5. Flashy won't let it fall apart like last time and shuts down any possible 2v5 attempts. Just Stomp remains, and I don't even know if his life is completely safe. You know what? I think Torzi won't catch him as he does that. Oh, wait, I think he spotted. Oh, Flashy spotted him. They should hunt this. They absolutely should hunt this. It will be very tough to get that far. Yeah, I don't think they even have time. They're all the way at ramp. Yeah, there's no way they could even get to that spot. So,
yeah.
That's going to be it. Budapest 5 find their second round, and Honoris, their money's not too good. It's okay. They'll still potentially have a force here. Stomp could drop one. 2 guns will be equipped on Neo and Reiko, but either Taz or Prism will have to work with scraps.
I just checked the stream, by the way. That wasn't a 2v4. That was a 2v5 they won.
Oh, wow. That's...
Yeah. That's insane.
Okay.
And,
really?
and the 2v4
no way, because the guy came in through hut and died, and then they got the 8 bombs. It had to be a 2.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure about that, but hey, that's what Twitch chat said, and everyone's saying 2v5 PogChamp, but I just assume okay, it's a 2v5.
No.
Torzi
They're actually
has been brought down. Reiko, the man to do it. Corey continues forward though, and look at that, Corey, the ultimate Hungarian player. He is an absolute beast. Corey. Wait, he's not Hungarian?
Really?
No.
Oh wait. Oh, that's Serbian and.
Never mind.
Hungarian.
I thought it was full Hungarian lineup. There you go. Rico and Taz are pretty good Polish players. I'm 100% sure about that though. As Coolio comes in from the side, doors close on him. That's not very polite, Taz. You don't treat guests that way. But Coolio will knock right back on it. They can't stop the bomb from being defused. They will not take Stomp's op away either. That's very important for him to say forward. Now he can drop an M4. They still have a respectable buy. Otherwise, this would have been really difficult for them.
Yeah, that is oof. Oh man, that is crazy. I am very surprised that result there, and Honoris kind of stealing one there. That is Budapest 5, not really as sharp on this map as I may have first thought, but that's an interesting way to find a 4v4. Molotov kill from Flashy off of a blind spray, and now Taz, he knows that they have scaled already, but he moves out of his good angle. Now Torzi's able to take down Stomp as well, and this really opens things up for Budapest 5. Just Neo and Prism here. They've pushed towards lobby, good control taken, but it is very hard to really retake any bomb site from this spot.
They're also going in towards B potentially. If they go to B, that bomb site is actually almost impossible to retake if you're in this position. You need to be firmly footed on the side itself, or you need Budapest 5 to make a big mistake. It's always one or the other. In the post plant, this should not be possible if Budapest 5 played perfectly. And I know it's in the 3v2, you say that normally anyway, but there's usually some leverage. Now Neo goes down as well. Corey, excellent frag to find. Prism, that should be his call to save here. Now Stomp's op was actually dropped in the vicinity, so if you can say that, that's great. And that is one big criticism I have over here. Stomp dying over there without getting a single kill. And although he's been good in retakes, he's not been good at early frags. He's not been good at, maybe potentially getting aggressive outside, playing from the back of CT where you can stop them from actually coming to heaven in the first place, playing from garage, being potentially the player to keep an eye out on silo. All of these aggressive peaks, you haven't really seen those coming out from Stomp so far. And maybe we can see something different later on.
Yeah. Okay, two things I looked up. One, it was actually a 3v4 that they won, not a 2v5 at all. Two, that was he lives in Serbia, and so I'm assuming the flag is updated just because like he lives there right now.
The IP address probably.
Yeah, so it's his IP. Yeah, but he is Hungarian.
Okay.
Given that everyone on this team is from that same region.
Fair enough. That's it.
All right.
No harm, no foul. He's a great player. That's the point.
Yes, he is.
And if he's half Serbian, maybe he ends up in G2.
Yeah.
Still, where's Stomp playing from? I can't tell on the radars. The radar is really confusing for me sometimes on Nuke.
Looks like he's just playing control door towards lower right now. So if Budapest 5 do decide to go down vents or something in a weird drop, that could work out for him. But as it stands, it does not seem like he will be finding any action, and that might be a problem because Budapest 5, they want a piece of this A bomb site right now. The exec comes out, the flashes, the nades, but Rico's still able to find a kill, and Prism does as well. In fact, Prism finds a second, but this still just leaves Stomp in a 1v2, and a very difficult one at that. He's rotated himself over to Hell now. He'll be approaching from Heaven. Budapest 5 will likely be planting in just a moment. But where is it that they will actually defend? Because there can only be one person planning and one person defending. And now Corey on the bomb site will get taken down. Stomp falls, and it's 1v1 situation. Opper versus Opper. Stomp holding for Torzy. Torzy, he might just be waiting for the tap. Good bait out coming from Torzy. An excellent jiggle, and that has given him a lot of information. Now the stick comes out. There is a kit, and another tap comes out. Torzy has actually shaken Stomp off of this bomb now several times, and at this point, Torzy looks like he's outplayed him to a high degree. This is so excellent from Torzy. Oh, but that nade actually might get him, but oh, the defuse now has to come out. Oh, does he get it? Oh, Torzy recovers just in time. Torzy just playing ring around the rosy with Stomp there. That was I did not know who was going to come out on top of that one. There was a lot of time for Stomp to play with there, but Torzy plays it even better.
Yeah, Stomp's been pretty good so far in those cloud situations, but not quite able to get that one out there and then. The question is, can he get something with the USP? And I think that's a pretty unlikely event to happen, as they are actually pushing forward with Ram. Corey has been brought down by Rico. That's a P250 to get some good damage, and another one to come in from the side. Torzy, in the meanwhile, is finding kills on pistols, which is actually surprisingly hard to do with the AWP, so props to him.
Ooh, good flash. 3v3 situation, though. Flashy on a big flank right now. Takes down Taz. That should probably dismantle this lobby hold from Stomp and Prism. But we'll see. There's still more to be played in this round. A flash comes out, somehow blinding Stomp, and yet he's able to recover. I can't understand how this all broke down, but Honoris are very happy about this. Torzy falls down towards the entrance of lobby. Good off angle from Prison. Catches out Torzy, and that round, just great lobby crunch from Honoris. They just take matters into their own hands. Sometimes I feel like people expect the lobby crunch just too much, but at the same time, with USPs, couple P250s, you don't have too many other options. And Honoris, they just aggressively take that fight, and sometimes that's all it takes. Corey, you know, a stud in this game as well, with 11 kills in 10 rounds thus far. But crucially does not lock down that ramp position, and they just swarmed him, and everything fell apart from Budapest 5 at that point. Tactical timeout comes out, and Budapest 5 probably have to be going over exactly what they want to buy into this round, what their game plan is here, because they're not working with a complete buy by any means.
That's where some of the quick kills that you're able to get with the pistols really come into play nicely. Now, the question still is going to be, how are they going to take control? Because so far they've really liked taking control of lobby, and they've really liked taking control of outside to go towards heaven. With the utility being this low, I feel like the latter is a very unlikely case, but could this be the first time we see them descending into secret is the question. Doesn't look like it. Torzi is just going to be using his op to try and get a pick. It really has been largely those two strategies they've been going for. It's worked out decently for them with the firepower that Corey brings to the table, but even so. Oh, Torzi, great kill on his top.
Yeah, and he'll be holding now in this 5v4 advantage. Good opening pick from him. Taz doesn't want to be the next victim. A good smoke from him comes out, but it will give Budapest 5 a lot of ground to work with. Prism wants to press on forward, and he catches Flashy off guard there. And this lobby crunch, once again in the late round, is just such a great adjustment from Honoris here. They know they've lost so much space outside that they need to get active on the map. They need to take something, and it results in 2 for nothing. Brings it to a 4v3 advantage for them now. And surprisingly, Budapest 5 having a difficult time converting in these kinds of situations where they've had these man advantages. Torzi, though, brings it back again, taking down Prism. And it does not look like Honoris are in a position to hold this. But the bomb has now been taken down outside. And Budapest 5, they only have 25 seconds to work with. The bomb is in the middle of the open. Bodito will be approaching from heaven. He's likely just a distraction to try to get Torzi involved. Neo, though, wins the duel there, and I think Torzi just has to say 15 seconds remain. Really no shot of him to win this one here. So Honoris, great recovery. Oh, Torzi.
Okay.
Still going for that one.
I think he just wanted to get his money bonus.
I don't know why he would want 1900 over an op, but you know, I sometimes see how that works, but
just to be on the same page as your team, I guess.
Yeah, I
don't think it's a good decision. I just think it is the decision he made. Because you know, I suppose you can, if you can get a kill on the CT players while you're at it, why not try?
Yeah, I guess he might have just not recognized that. I mean, I guess he thought that Taz was still by door, and if that were the case, then, or by the secondary vent, and if that were the case, you know, maybe he had a chance to fly down and get a bomb plant too. I don't know. He was hoping for the best in a very dire circumstance, and Honoris will be happy about that because it gives them a free round on top of it. And now no op coming out for Budapest 5. Torzi's been very good at finding those opening picks, but it will be up to his rifling now to carry him in this round.
Well, good half already from Honoris. Let's not beat around the bush. This is had quite a few gems from them. But Stomp only comes out. This is the first. Oh, I love this. This is great timing. This is such well-timed aggression from Reiko and Taz. Taz will not be spot. Oh, he's not spotted until Coolio figures it out, and the gap in the smoke is used to take him down. 3v3. Still, they haven't been able to proceed past the double smokes into secret, so Stomp still has a chance of completely dominating this. There is a flashbang used. He peeks out, gets that great kill, will re-peek as well to make sure that if anyone's crossing, he'll have the information. And now Torzi's found himself very much stuck in between a rock and a hard place, because on one end, you know what, you could try and save. You can try and wrap all the way around, but by the time you've done that, Honoris is going to be in position on either bomb site. Alternatively, you can just try and move forward where you don't know where the opera is. Now, fortunately, he does make the correct decision for now. Moves boss into Mini. Now, where is Prism? Is Prism on this bomb site? No, he's not. He's playing over towards the ramp room. And the bomb can be planted safely to secure him a 1v2 that's very doable. He did pick up a Molotov as well, and there's another incendiary right outside the door of Mini. I don't think it should come into play because Torzi's unlikely to go towards Mini, but in case he plants for it and goes back, that could be a difference maker in one way or another. Now, Molotovs to be thrown forward, secures himself the bomb plant. Now he's moving back out towards Mini. He's looking to see. Oh, he's going back towards heaven, is he? No. Doesn't look like it. Decision's not made yet. He gets that first 1v1. Molotov goes out. It's the wrong place. And Torzi has got it. That's perfectly played, man. It's so good to see. He makes sure there's no one from Heaven wrapping around him initially. And after that, the immediate duel has to be from Heaven because he knows that if a player's coming in from Hut, it would have taken them much longer than that to push forward. He takes the initial duels towards Rafters. And because Torzi is expecting the player to be inside Hut, he mollies the wrong angle. And after that, not Torzi, sorry, Stomp mollies the wrong angle. And after that, Torzi's just got a 1v1 that he takes away because it's an AK versus an AWP. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, love it. Budapest 5, it looked like they may have spectacularly fallen apart on the T side of their map pick, but a great recovery from Torzi. And that bomb sneak towards lower already, it's causing a lot of confusion, you can tell, for the Honoris side. Taz just kind of sprinting down here towards Decon. He will be facing off, but he will still find the victory against Corey. Still a 3v3 situation, and the trades come out. Oh, no, they don't. Bodito just decimating everybody in the vents right there. I thought surely Taz would have found that, but a great little pocket strat coming out from Budapest 5 off of the momentum of their previous clutch victory from Torzi. And now it just leaves Stomp with nothing but the op here. And we'll see if he's able to just do anything in the upcoming round. He will definitely be the player to watch on round 15, as the rest of his team won't have much to work with. I think their loss bonus is probably a near minimum. 29.
No.
Oh, can't even keep himself alive? Stomp, that is not how you want to lose your op here. Dancing around the box, and he does take down Bodito, thankfully for himself and their chances in this one. Honoris, yep, only with a 1900 loss bonus from that previous one. They will be on a couple FAMASs and some upgraded pistols, but this is really, a lot of this round should come down to Stomp. Can he find an opening pick for his team? Can he secure a lot of space for them? He will be playing towards outside, it looks like, but Budapest 5, they don't seem too interested in that outside fight.
If Prism gets flashed through, that's huge because no one's actually playing anti-flash over there. That should be 2 easy kills, but he decides to back off. Ifs and buts do not matter. He gets a good shot in onto Corey, brings him down to 55. As he retreats, Stomp will get 1 as well. Coolio's been smoked off. He's looking to push through the smoke, but on the other side, there's Taz and a CZ. Prism drops down. He's still playing a very difficult angle to try and contest, and he will not get a kill, but he does force Flashy to get aggressive early on, and meanwhile, that gives time to Taz to come through from the side, take down the players who are trying to penetrate glass. Taz has been smoked off, though. It's a 2v4. Flashy and Torzi, can they make this happen? Flashy sees the feet, but Neo takes him down. Torzi will be the last to fall, and Honoris with a great CT side half. 9-6. It's not perfect. They had mistakes, but this is a big improvement from the Honoris we've seen in the past 2 maps of Nuke that they played, and I'm looking forward to their T side.
Yeah, we'll see if Budapest 5 are able to fortify that defense. This is their map pick after all. I'd say 6 is still not bad, given that they won the pistol, but then lost the second, and then lost a string of rounds after that. It basically means that all 5 of their round victories here were, other than the pistol, were just gun round versus gun round, and a little bit of sloppiness, though, for Budapest 5. I wonder if they'll be able to clean that up. They lost on the second round to a pretty difficult eco, and they also lost a 2v4 at one point.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff makes you really hunker down, and I think they were able to bounce back off of it pretty well because, you know, they still showed a little bit of fortitude, a little bit of mental strength. But it's a close affair, and Honoris, they're showing up to an extent that I didn't necessarily expect. I thought after that pistol victory, I thought this might have been just a clean-cut affair. Budapest 5 running away with it on their map pick, but that's just not the case at all. Honoris are looking pretty good.
One thing, though, Maui, to keep in mind is that Corey's not fragging that well.
Yeah, so I think it's a lot to ask of him to always dominate the server.
Yes.
He's not yet, you know, that tier 1 consistency by any means. And I feel like Corey works better when there's a few more open spaces. I actually think Nuke might not be by any means his best map. I think he's looked very good on when you kind of have those like middle to long range duels. That's when Corey has looked fantastic. Sometimes he can handle the close range stuff, but when there's, you know, a lot of angles that you have to clear in quick succession, I haven't hasn't really struck out to me as Corey's strong suit. It's been like he knows where the other person is, they know where he is, he's just going to win the duel because he's faster and he's quicker. But when there's a lot to process, doesn't seem like Corey has been necessarily always the strongest, sometimes putting himself in slightly vulnerable positions to multiple angles. I think I don't know, the way the 2v4 collapsed, I think Corey was on top of the hut, which is just kind of a kill you should really always get when Taz is playing around the door, but he somehow lost that fight. I don't know whether he thought there was just confusion or what. I don't know how he didn't win that fight because we didn't see his perspective, but his strengths don't seem necessarily suited for this one. But would love to see him bounce back here. I know that is definitely a win condition for Budapest 5 is just Corey popping off in any circumstance.
Yes, and I think that actually should happen because of the exact points that you're talking about. That Corey is comfortable in duels where he knows where the other person is. The other person, I mean, they might not know where he is, but the point is Corey's speed comes into play. I think that should be happening on the CT side. CT side nuke is very much where that should be coming in, especially if... Now, this is where it depends on Honoris' style of play. If Honoris would like to go for early points of map control where you're making plays like vent dies, where you're making plays like, outside smokes to take control of outside or mini, where you're making like the north smokes, those plays that you go for early, I think that's where Corey would thrive against them. Because Corey knows exactly where they should be going. Corey knows exactly how to take that duel. And his teammates have been very good with flashing for him across all maps. So if that comes true, I think Corey does actually bring Budapest 5 very much back into this game off the back of some fantastic individual plays. But I'm not sure that should be the call, because Honoris, and full disclosure to anyone who's watching, we've literally only ever seen them play Mirage. The 3 times we've casted them, the 3 games we've casted them, it's been Mirage. So, actually, no, it was 1 Inferno and 2 Mirage. Inferno, they just didn't really look like they knew what they were doing because it was one of their first matches ever. But on Mirage, it's been their mid-round calling that's gotten them the rounds that they've had on T side. So I'm not 100% sure if Corey will be permitted to actually have that anti-early territorial control from CT side type of play. If that makes sense. I'm checking. I think it's just internet issues for one of the players.
Yeah. One timed out. One person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, in the meanwhile, we have gotten an update from our production crew, who is also Serbian, I think, unless I'm wrong. Sorry, Mika, if I'm wrong. They are telling me that, in fact, it is Corey who has a dual citizenship. His father is Serbian and his mother is Hungarian. So there you go. That's why his flag is Hungarian. I don't know if he's chosen it himself. I don't know if they default. I don't really know exactly how that works. But the point is, he's a dual citizen. He's not just living in Serbia. He's a dual citizen. And there you have it.
That's a very fun fact. That is something no one in Twitch chat typed out. Maybe someone knew it. They were silent.
Yes. And even if they said dual citizens, they didn't know which side was which. So I'm just saying, Maui, this is where always taking it that extra mile. That is interesting though for me, because what I immediately think of is, and I'm biased because I just think Kassad's one of the best coaches in the world. Not the best, but one of the best. I just think, okay, Kassad, wherever you go next, is Corey gonna be the next player you steal away from Serbia? And in this case, Hungary as well.
Yeah. I wonder where he'll head out to. Are there any teams right now that are in need of a coach anymore?
Yes, there are. They already have coaches, but they definitely need a new one.
Yes, okay. A good take on it, I see.
Yes, now you can't comment because you're actually friends with people in the scene. I am no one, so I get to comment. Adrian needs to be an analyst. I think he's a great analyst, but dude, Liquid, come on, get Kassad.
It's a little difficult to I don't know if you saw the online CS era as your video from Thorin. He talked about how it's a shame. Okay, yeah. It's a shame though, and he even tweeted a little bit of this out, where it's just teams like EG and teams like Mouse Sports right now, it feels like you just have to change something. And it's so dire. It's so upsetting given that they haven't even been to a LAN where they've really played badly. It's just that they have online play been so underwhelming. They're floundering. They're both looking very, very mediocre. And I don't know what kind of changes I would want for either of them, whether it's a coach or even a player, or even if I necessarily want to change. I think the thing is that at the end of the day, these orgs are probably still paying the same salaries despite there not being LAN events to their players, and they aren't receiving the results that they would want from it. Are they?
So
I don't know. Do you think they're going to wait out?
Do you think that organizations, and because you know more about organizations than I do, but do you think that organizations are going to, because I actually think maybe their operating expenditure should be lower these days, and revenue, because viewership is still kind of pretty good, and organizations depend on viewership. It's not like LANs give them, much better money or anything like that. Organizations themselves, I don't even think most of them pocket much of the prize pool, if any. So
they get. I'm pretty sure most of them get
10%.
I could not tell you the number
Fair
off the
enough.
top of my head, but I know they do.
But,
I know
okay.
I know almost literally all of them do.
Okay, but I'd still imagine like that shouldn't be a significant impact when you're considering, okay, viewership is still pretty good, so sponsors aren't really going to be messing with you. Now, obviously, there's other issues, which is the fact that organizations can't raise more money. That's true. I agree with that. But I don't know how much like LANs affect of expenditure, because now you don't have to boot camp, and boot camping is super expensive. I don't know how much
on the other hand,
have to spend.
For not boot camping, what they are doing instead is just housing a lot of the teams, like how Complexity, Oboe, and Rush are just at the Danish office, which in a way resembles a lot of a boot camp, where you're just literally housing them. You're giving them a facility to work with. You're outfitting the facility with everything else that a boot camp would normally have. Given and granted, it's only 2 people there, as opposed. I don't know if BlameF and Config are going to it. I think Poison's at home. But I don't know. Like, I mean, the real thing is that for the money they're making, I think that like
paying an extra $10,000 a month is probably not worth it.
Well, it's no secret that nearly every single org is losing money from their CS team. It's just off of the back of angel investors for a lot of them that they even have the funds to work with here. I don't know any teams in the CS space that are actually making any money. Not like we should sound the alarm bells, because
you mean from CS or in general?
From CS.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think they just kind of pay them what their investors give them to pay them. I almost don't even think like this is a GM decision. This is literally like someone higher up is pulling the strings on like.
Definitely not a GM decision. CS GMs are terrible in terms of how advanced they're. I honestly feel like GMs are really just managers normally, because it feels like it's always the players making the decision. If not, it's a coach making the decision. I like the coach making decision part, but GMs are not really much of a thing.
I've heard different things about the power a GM has for a team. I talked to the Gen G GM, and it felt like they were just like more so like he was like involved in the recruiting process to get the players. Like he's like there at the meetings, and he's there at the. Okay. But I don't know if, and like I feel like, and I'm pretty sure the decision to get Bentet, for example, was like
Dabs.
It was like Daps, and it was like the coach, and it was like everyone on the roster, and then it was just the fact that they were alerted of the fact that Ty Lue was willing to part for X amount of money, so they're like, let's do it. It wasn't like GM is like doing like it's nowhere near like in the NBA where the GM is actually looking at spreadsheets all day of player evaluations and their scouting reports and things like that. Like it's mostly just like, oh, players like him, all right, let's get him. And then the GM's just like, hey, come on board. I'm the GM. Here's the meeting. Sit down with us. At Gen G, you will be a valued member of our team. Like, okay, great. Let's just play. Not to devalue what the GM does. I'm sure. Like you said, I think he's more like it'd be interesting to see, but there's not that transparency for everything these people do in these organizations. So, we actually are just kind of forced to speculate. I'm not even ashamed of speculating sometimes, because like if they wanted us to know, they should just tell us. Like,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, exactly. Be transparent. But we've been given news that Budapest 5 is looking for a stand-in.
Oh, jeez.
Hopefully they should be able to find one. It is Badito. And Badito's actually one of the better players on Nuke, in my opinion, in terms of the impact he's able to deliver, even though this game has not quite been the same. But still,
I agree, though. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think Badito is pretty good on this map.
Well, let's see. However, anyway, point is, the interesting thing though is that League of Legends, which I think is without any argument, their organizations are slightly more advanced because of the ecosystem that's been built. I wouldn't say it's good or bad. I'm just saying it's just they are more advanced in certain ways and they have more money. They've recently started putting a lot more money into GMs, it seems like, especially in the NA LCS, in certain departments, because League GMs have historically just not done very much, but now you're kind of seeing a few more people moving into roles like that. So you got Papa Smithy, who, for those of you guys who don't know, he was a runner-up for Esports Caster of the Year last year in 2019, right behind our very own Henry G. He's casted multiple world championships for them, and casting a world championship is a little bit harder, I would argue, than casting a major in CS is, because of, it's a developer running it. It's a developer hiring for it. It's kind of like being hired for the Dota International. Back in the day, you couldn't really do it unless you had a certain very clean profile, which, Papa Smithy does have, but casting the finals of it is very, very difficult. Anyhow, so he's now actually the GM for 100 Thieves League of Legends team. I don't know if you know about that. You don't follow League, right?
No, I don't follow it at all.
Yes, so but he's now the GM for them. Another very famous North American caster, Jat, is now the coach for Team Liquid, the head coach. And I think he's supposed to, it was intimated at some point that he's supposed to kind of be, sharing some duties of recruitment and whatnot, which obviously the coach always should. But you're seeing a slow movement over towards there. I'm more surprised that it's never come through in Counter-Strike, though, because honestly, you look at Counter-Strike, you look at how ridiculously deep the talent pool is in places like Europe, where, this is a prime example, man. Corey is insane. I don't know how a lot of these teams are able to coast past without, being able to find these incredible talent who you can bring up, nurture, and use to actually go forward. Like if you look at a team like Godsend, dude, that team's top 20 with washed up players. And I have full respect to Godsend, but let's not disguise that. That's a great job of assembling a roster. So if that was a GM behind that, which I don't think it was, I think it was more happenstance. But if a GM is able to figure something like that out, get to a top 20, that's what you need to have before you can start replacing a few pieces to potentially look for a top 10. But CSGM just doesn't seem to be a role that's particularly publicized, gone particularly forward.
Yeah, I think the fit in teams is almost more, in a way, important. I don't know. If like players aren't going to play with another player in CS, it's like when there's disconnects between players in a server, because they don't like each other or something like that, like they just won't play with each other. And if a GM can't just force people in CS to really play with each other, because there's so much like two-man game interaction. Like League, there is like it's kind of like laning, like, I mean, you wouldn't want to lane with someone you just hate. Like you wouldn't want to play a bomb site with someone you hate. And with League, I feel like, or MOBAs in general, like you can almost in a way get away with not being buddy with your team a little bit more. I don't know. Like we saw how Godsend fell apart with the Makalele thing. Did you read the?
Yeah, I read them all.
Yeah, so I think if a GM starts just pulling the strings and just saying, hey, you guys are gonna play with each other whether you like it or not, that just in CS can work. I think that's kind of what happened with Complexity, in all honesty. I feel like they just kind of just assembled that from the parts they could find, and they did a great job with it. But to an extent, like I almost feel like
did it get lucky?
They got lucky for one, and two, like, I mean, Rush is probably not having the best time over there. Like, I don't know. Like, they're doing all right. Yeah. They're probably happy they won 3 home sweet home weeks, but like, You know, like.
But I
would
mean,
he-
they are like a top 20 team. That's kind of the point, though. Like, if you are a top 20 team,
Yeah.
that's when you start looking to fine tune things. I feel like you can probably get to top 20, and even Godsend to some extent is testament to that. I mean, it was very clear that Makaleli was having issues before. You could see on the scoreboard he just wasn't really putting up. And
Yeah.
you obviously, from what we've learned recently, these truths do go back a few months, where issues have been coming up here and there. And I think you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you're right about that. But this is where the GM and the coach holding hands becomes even more important, seemingly. Because if you have a coach who can whip your players into shape, tell them that to basically really impress into their heads that shut up, you are all professionals. There's a particular gravitas that comes with being a professional. You need to embrace that. Now, that's one of the reasons why I like people like Kassad and Zonic, who we haven't seen him do the same thing so much, but Kassad particularly, because he seemed like kind of a rough and tough guy who he seemed like an authority figure who can really get his players to kind of sit down and do. I've never talked to him myself. It just is from the outside in. Seems like he should be someone who should be able to be a disciplinarian. Combine that with a good GM, I'd like to see something like that.
Yeah, I think that could be a weirdly strong foundation for a lot of teams. It's just if you throw in a coach right now to any team that's in, like, okay, so imagine Kassad right now moving to any team in the top. I'd even give it 25. No, 20. So like top 20. So give him any team in the top 20, and then they okay, it seems like production said they're just still looking for a stand-in. I think that's
Yes.
the. Oh wait, okay. Okay, well, you know what? We'll talk about maybe more stuff later. We've gotten the go-ahead to send it to break. Unless you want to keep on going with this, I don't mind either way.
I don't really mind. I can keep going because
Okay, then I'll continue at that point.
Sure, yeah.
So basically, I think with Kassad going to any team right now. So like. Okay, this would be my example. I think Cloud9, you could.
Who is the coach for Cloud9 right now?
TC.
Warden?
It's TC. No, that's Complexity. Warden is like a manager figure. For that team, Katie is the actual key.
Yes.
KEITI is the coach for Complexity.
The British fellow.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think Maiden, isn't he on Godsend? What?
Yeah, Martin's on. Okay, you know what? He's pretty insane.
Stand-in, like, this is like just pulling. Like, yeah, this is like, what did you just say? Just simple. You want to play right now? And okay, all right. I think they're going to
speak the same language.
What? Let me see what language they speak in
Hungary.
Montenegro.
I mean, Madden speaks English.
Right. Well, yeah. I'm looking if there's overlap with Montenegro's languages. They speak Bosnian, Croatian,
Serbian, and Albanian.
And then Hungary speak Russian, Romanian. So there's 2 overlapping languages. They all know.
Okay.
That is really weird. Maybe he just speaks the language. Who knows? I mean, I'm not gonna read too much into it. I want to just cast the game.
Fortunately, it's the CT side.
Yeah, exactly. So you just throw him to a spot. But the unfortunate thing is that it's nuke, where people have to rotate all the time and have like kind of drastic rotations in rounds. We'll see how this works out for them here. This is a very
I
odd
have the
stand-in.
ultimate call for Madden. Madden, go kill.
Yeah, I would love
The
to
universal CSGO call out. The call
I'm
out that has
Honoris-
made Carrigan, Alexi B, Happy, not existence, but whatever, existence famous. Kenny S go kill, Simple go kill, Nico go kill.
I wish it were really that simple for IGLs. I think I could be a top IGL if all I had to do were that.
You are a top IGL, Maui. You just
Not even the
refuse to
IGL of my
embrace
team
it.
right now.
Yeah. And that's why you guys aren't in Pro League. There you go.
That's why. That is why.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess they're going to be running with Mod in here. But 2 sets of utility for both teams. Honoris on Taz and Prism for Budapest 5. It's on Flashy and Coolio. And an interesting setup coming out already. Wow, they already have Modin's picture. This is sick.
Nice, dude. Production is insane. Corey wants to peek out. He's been flashed up. Modern trying to get those kills. He's got the one. Corey doubles it up. And on the side, he's been brought down by Stomp. Flashy from the back lines, not able to get another. Honoris looks like they were never stopped in the first place. 2v3, but no Kevlar on the CT side. Lots of utility will not be that helpful. Maybe even save that going forward. Coolio trying to deny the bomb from being planted. Flashy as well. Peeking out, swinging wide. They want to fight this out. Coolio can't get the kills he needs. And Flashy will fall 10-6.
Good start for Honoris there. Just nice ramp take. Win out on the trades. And then a very good concerted effort to push control there. They were trapped on that bomb side. If they let those Budapest 5 players just sit around at control door and decon door, that could have gotten a little bit messy. Could have been some isolated 1v1s, but a very great late round call between the two of those players that ran out into control door. So good stuff from Honoris. As we've been talking about, they have a knack for playing some of those late round situations, those 3v3s, 2v3s. Even we saw a 2v4 this game. It just feels like they are connected on a level that is quite impressive for how young this team is.
Well, Coolio and Corey. This is so troubling because Honoris have to be careful not to lose too many players and let Budapest 5 maybe run away with an AK or something. Corey gets one kill. Corey's looking to maybe get a little bit more for his trouble. Rico, in the meanwhile, spraying away with the Galil. It's Stomp to get Torsi down, though, and Neo continues through. So it looks like it should be a clean set of affairs. Although they did go into what seemed like a bit of a stack. Coolio drops down, will be brought down as well. I thought he might want to circle around, take down the bomb planter, but he decides against it, and he does pay the price. Corey with the Mac 10, Modern with the P250, no AKs taken forward, so they may as well try and go for this, do some more damage. Although it looks like, oh, actually, that's actually an important kill. Corey with 5650 now.
Yeah, it actually has some implications there. Corey was able to drop an op in this round. Only will have a flashbang by his side, but still, Torsi getting that gun into this round is very nice to see. Honoris, though, with a big lead, and Budapest 5 have a lot of catching up to do. And with the stand-in, it's not going to be any easier, or maybe it will, depending on how well Modern performs. We'll see, though, because he has one of the toughest rotator positions on the map. This mini spot is very difficult.
Oh,
Torsi, that's an easy shot. That, taking down Taz early on with some good scaling towards outside, will allow him to secure the secret position. It's Modern now who is playing a mini. He seems to know his angles pretty well at this point, but how will he fight with his team? Flashing above secret right there to try to support his teammate, but it doesn't catch them off guard. Neo lying in wait. Usually that's the kind of hold you would expect from a Krieg when we saw those earlier this year, but it's a good AK hold, and Neo still coming out on top with the AK at that range. Very impressive stuff, and it's Flashy who has to come up big. He finds one, looking for more, but he is able to back up.
Coolio. Good positioning from him. Got the great off angle where he gets the first kill. Storm's been brought down. Prism to trade. Corey and Flashy. Can they collect themselves? Can they bring everything together? Prism's waiting for them to push into him. He is the one with the bomb. Neo is the one on the lurk, though. Neo's hoping to find someone which would allow Prism to move forward, get the bomb plant down Corey is not checking the right angle as he goes back into it. Prism, if Corey swings out wide right now, it should be an easy kill for him, but Corey can't finish him off. His position given away. He's taking the duel. It's not one that's favorable for him. Corey moves forward, has been tagged in the head as well. Not quite easy for him to finish this off. And now Flashy comes in to take down Prism. Neo's left in a 1v2. He's got the angle. Will they have the defuse? They don't have a kit. They need to take down Neo, and it's Flashy to get the job done. And there you have it. Great retake from Budapest 5, even if it could have maybe been a bit cleaner. Flashy to get 3 kills there.
I don't get why Flashy was ever coaching. Like,
I know, right?
Quite good. Yeah, this guy is quite good. I don't know why he ever took a backseat. Maybe he, I don't know. I don't need to speculate, but it's weird.
Maybe it was all
a
plot.
Yeah, it's just odd to me because he's very serviceable. Like, he's beyond serviceable from what I've seen of him, and in fact, he's not even usually their bottom fragger. I like rarely see him on the bottom. But a timeout comes out for Budapest 5, or I mean for Honoris here. Their money is in an awkward position. Stomp can buy an op, as he is the primary opper for this team, but no one else could really get a great buy behind it. A couple AKs could come out, but it will be with minimal utility. I guess that is what they are opting for here, so we'll see how this works out for them. I'm not sure how Honoris wants to play this one out. Probably have to prioritize smokes on the last... Okay, they only have a single smoke. I'm not sure how they expect to make this work. Probably will have to end up being a ramp take, as it's one of the few spots you can get map control without using minimal utility. But we'll see what Honoris has in store for us here as they've deliberated during that timeout.
Okay, Torsi takes down Stomp early on. I thought they'd go for a fast play for a vent drop, to be honest, but I guess that's just not an option when Torsi's on the other side. He misses one shot, though. That's big, because now he's been forced to smoke himself off and back off himself. Now, no one's on outside, so he can't really go over towards Secret, but Taz is going to be a little bit disappointed to find him all the way down in the B side already, and that's why you can see the MP9 backing off as well. Coolio knows that he can take those close range duels with the op that has already rotated down, but Taz and company can still go over towards Hell, where Martin lies and waits. Martin is so uncomfortable in this position. For good reason. They can come from a variety of different angles. He sees Rico, but can't take him down. Modern, unfortunately, not quite delivering over there. Corey has to do his dirty work for him, as Flashy will be the next to fall. Torzi to take down Rico is big, though, because that means Corey's only got a 1v1 to cater to before he can reposition. Coolio, in the meanwhile, is sitting from behind him. He's come out with the MP9. Great kill for Corey to finish things off. 2 kills for him. And that was a great set of trades coming in from the Budapest 5 guys.
That's such a big play from Corey, or from Coolio right here. Very good flank. Disrupts Prism's crosshair right there. I know we see it from Corey's perspective, and it looked like a pretty straightforward duel, but that, I mean, if you're Prism in that circumstance, you're just flipping your crosshair all over the place. You're swiping your mouse across your mouse pad just as hard as you can, and it's such a big win because look at the money for Honoris here. Just Glocks across the board, and this should be a pretty clean one for Budapest 5.
Well, I mean, we say that, but Neo's got a kill. It might be the loss that they get. Flashy will be able to get another of his own, and 2 for him. There you go. 9-11. Honoris will have another buyout right now with proper smokes, proper utility. And remember, we did say that the side to watch out for is going to be Honoris. This is D side. CT side nuke. Okay, you know what? I wouldn't say they were unimpressive, but I would say it's a lot easier to impress on CT side nuke. I don't think that's an unfair assessment by any stretch of the imagination. But T side is where now they get put to the test.
Yeah, and will they have the strategies necessary in order to make something out of nothing, which is oftentimes what Nuke offers when you don't really have any kind of execs or any kind of strategies, any kind of ways to get map control. It doesn't feel to me like Honoris have had as many tricks as I would hope for on the T side thus far. In fact, they aren't even really abusing the vent drop, which seems to be a standard amongst most teams that are pretty confident in this map here. It's a lot of dry fighting thus far for Honoris here. Cross smokes have come out for them, but other than that, it's been a lot of what we're seeing now. Nearly a minute gone in the round, no map control taken, and Budapest 5 just standing with a very strong defense here. Still, nothing really happening for Honoris. 50 seconds on the clock, and it's still... yeah, I think they are going for an A exec, though. So we'll see how this runs down.
Yeah, this might be troubling. There are actually quite a few grenades. Flashy gets aggressive, can't get that first. Rico to get the entry. Flashy gets two on the side and is still alive as Torzy comes in. Great flashbang from him. And Flashy, if he wants to peek out, now would be the time. The bomb is being planted. Torzy is being flanked. He's got to be careful of that. Taz can take them all down. Flashy drops his thermos, reveals his position, and Taz, with a great flank, will bring them down. 12-9. Honoris get themselves on the board with a quick A execute, but it wasn't clean.
I feel like that was almost Budapest 5. Coolio had an opportunity to find a crazy multi-frag, just couldn't get it from the top of hut there. Honoris, though, they showed that they do have some strats here. They do have some plays in their playbook. We'll see if they have more for us here, because it's been a lot of this. It's been a lot of Stomp trying to fight outside. Not the most success for him. But this time he's against Deagles for the most part. And it should be a relatively clean affair. If Honoris don't drop the ball here, they just have to make sure that they... cross their T's, dot their I's, and this should be a pretty clean one for them. But Budapest 5 are going for a very interesting setup. There are 3 players now around Secret and 2 players pushing towards Ramp. This might catch Honoris off guard here. We'll see.
Modern. Well, Modern's been quiet too, but I can't really blame him too much, realistically. Not without being a terrible person, anyway, which I am sometimes. I'm sure people can attest to that, but not to stand-ins, at least. Torzy with the Deagle in hand. If he gets aggressive, that would be a mistake. But if Taz drops down, well, that could be an AK-47 picked up for the next round for the CT side. Loss bonus is not great, if I'm not wrong. I think it might actually be just a... It might just be a 2400, actually. No, I'm wrong. It's less. It's 1900 loss bonus, isn't it?
I'm not sure what the loss bonus is now, but nice lobby aggression will find 2 kills for Coolio and Corey. Now they've actually recovered an AK as well on Coolio. This is a pinch from multiple directions right now for Budapest 5. Coming out event is 1. Coolio does fall. That was the AK on the ground now. Corey's able to retrieve it, and he's been a star with it, but Stomp is looking even hotter in this round. Able to recover that one, find 3 kills, and he takes down Modern as well.
It's an ace.
So, yeah, it's an ace for Stomp, and... that was 1900 actually acquired for Budapest 5.
Yes.
That's not what you'd hope, but they still are able to pull together a pretty decent buy here. The only person really suffering for firepower is Flashy, as he wants to opt for the utility instead.
He's been really good on the farmers, though, so far. He's always seemed to get multi-kills with it. I don't know how. That gun's actually just very interesting. Corey with a great kill on the Prism. Torzy has once again gone for the very fast-paced ramp play, which will not be netting any kills, but information galore. You can see how Coolio's playing as a result of that as well. He's looking to reposition and is waiting for any sort of ramp push to come through. That flashbang from Taz will net out another one. Now they could just be going in towards Heaven as a result of this, though. And they have done it before. Taz has to contend with Coolio. On the sidelines, there's more players. Everyone's rotated over from Budapest 5. Torzi's even opened the door. He's got the angle perfectly measured. And he gets a shot. Stomp, who was so good in the previous round with 5 kills, will go down. Modern gets one of his few as well. Coolio does take down Taz before being felled. And 4 players kept alive. Excellent round coming out from Budapest 5. All off the back of 1 early kill from Corey and Torzy, then finding out that there's no one on the outside. A great read from Flashy.
Yeah, Budapest 5 moved around the map perfectly there. I almost saw no win condition for Honoris in that round once they committed going down towards ramp, and Honoris, they will have to find one in this round. It's not a pretty buy once again, not much utility. Just 2 flashes remain, but it's a fast mini wrap. But will they be caught off? Modern can't find the kill there. That is a little disappointing for the stand-in, but Flashy, with great position, is able to find not actually anyone, but a TK comes out. Coolio gets one of his own, and I think Torzy has heard that there is a player flanking him. There's a lot of confusion.
Oh.
Rico does get taken down, and that just leaves Stomp. No armor, an op, and just a single flashbang. Torzy falls, saves his own life by landing on the ramp right there. Good movement from him, and Coolio is pressed up against Hut. Stomp, the bomb is so close, but so far away for him. He throws that single piece of utility, but is able to gain no ground whatsoever. He's just hoping for a mistake from one of these 2 Hungarian players. And will he be able to find anything? Oh, he might actually opt to go out on top of this, and this might actually find a kill for him. Torzy might be holding this though. I don't. Oh man, does not hit the shot regardless, and Coolio takes his life. That's an AK retrieve for Coolio, and Budapest 5 are feeling pretty good about that because now look at Honoris' money. Not too much to work with.
And at the same time, listen, CDSI money's great. They took the previous round before this one with 4 players kept alive, and that means that now you have your chance to really build up bank for the rest of the half. If you win this one with all 5 players, I think that should be 3 rounds where you're guaranteed a bye. Maybe 2, but that's still more than enough to give yourself a great shot in this game. Now, Honoris, their loss bonus is actually pretty poor as well because of the rounds they were winning, because of the back and forth that was occurring. Did Neo just fall down from silo? I think he did. Yeah. Well, that's not great. Meanwhile, Coolio drops down and breaks the glass as well. Torzi's being very careful of the wraparound to come in, but he has to be even more careful when you consider they're all pistols and they're all coming for him. Although you say that, though, his quickscoping so good, dude. He's insane with that quickscope. Now Madden peeks out. At least he can get this job done as he gets some good anti-ecos. Bombs dropped as well. Madden's look very good, and he's prevented that op from actually getting any kills once it was stolen away. So a great round coming in from Madden, and a very important one as well, where he ensures that they don't lose too many players.
Yeah. Good stuff from Madden right there. I haven't been impressed with him thus far, though. Before that round, he had 3 kills, 3 and 8, oftentimes out of position. But he comes up big for them there. A lot of firepower, and in doing so, does secure a lot of money, as you mentioned. Now, it looks like Honoris are getting a little bit desperate with their approach. Just a ramp rush at this point at 13-12. And Prism takes a headshot already. Torzy is able to take down Taz. And look at this push coming out from Torzy. Oh, no. Whip shot, though. And he still managed to stay alive. It seems like he wanted more for some reason there, but he will just manage to keep his life intact. Would have been nice for him to secure that position for his team, but now Honoris are offered a little bit of space. They now have lobby control and ramp room, so Budapest 5 might have to really think about how they want to play the rest of this round out. Usually want Corey to play like this, but it will probably leave a little bit more vulnerable. If Honoris find a good timing on the push, you can actually split a very kind of deceptively well in these kinds of situations when you have lobby and ramp room, but I don't know if they're seasoned enough on Nuke to pull off such a well-timed split. And with Corey holding this angle, that split becomes a lot harder. So we'll see how they choose their approach as they only have 35
LASIK is the best
seconds.
decision I ever made.
Especially when you consider
I was certainly not a glasses person. Nice opening kill from Yekandar. Crims against the wall. GW right here. Around the corner, Sanji spots it out, but he can't win the fight.
That Molotov time is perfect.
Very cool.
And Corey
from
will go
Yekandar.
down at the end of the day. But the Molotov means they can only come out from Hut. Flash is up, and Flash is always delivering in these positions. He gets 2 kills a game.
It's kind of cool to see.
He is the man of the CT side. No doubt about
they can
it.
take the last 2 rounds. If they win this one,
I'm impressed.
well, there's going to be a pretty good bank on VP's side. They can still buy. JW actually going aggressive, and I don't know if you realize, but Jane is right around the corner. And let's see if he's going to take the swing wide enough. The gun barrel might show. Yep, JW knows, and he goes straight for it. Oh man, the tip of that barrel.
Perfectly around it. So even though I'm impressed with the mid-round call from Honoris, I'm actually...
This is the thing with JW, right? Like, these are the results when he does his super aggressive play. You're just like, oh, okay, well, I guess JW will just make those all the time and he'll make it work.
there is the small gap.
So you have to take the good with the bad. He's been like that his whole career. Oh, good shooting from Kicker.
Modern now, he rotated down.
He's been on point. He had no way to know where Brolin was in that moment. So
fight right there.
Triple for JW, and he continued the aggression. This is the other thing, right?
Now Modern has
if you encounter a CT down at Ivy that's going to be forward and he gets a kill on one of your players, you're not going to think, oh, he's going to keep pushing. But then he does. And then he gets another one and he keeps pushing for a third time. It's like, in the back of your mind, you're just not expecting that.
There you go. 14-13, Budapest 5.
I mean, it is the hard factor. This has always been like one style of, like stylistically why JW's been such a tough opponent over the years. Is when you're trying to make a decision as a player, you're thinking like, what is the smart decision for your opponent to make? And you're trying to counter that. Well, JW often makes the silly decision, but it works. Whether it's catching him off guard or a stunning shot. Kicker has another opening. Smoke to cover his flank from ladder room, but Brolin is standing tall, and he's not giving up any of the fights. Flush is going to come through. He's got an angle, and behind is Sanji making noise. One more for Flusha, transfers out to the AK.
And makes his escape. That's actually a very smart move.
I
kind of wish Kicker would have kept going. I feel like his aim is on
side. There's only so many places you can be, but for the CT, there's so many angles you can shoot in from that. That's generally a losing fight if you're the T. I know this. I'm the door player on the defaults for my team. It's just, you're going to come out behind a lot. Yeah.
That is a pained words of a player. He laughs, but internally he's flaming his in-game leader. Coolio, waiting for the push to come in towards him, but he decides, you know what, I want a winning duel. I don't want to be put in Maui Sank's position, and now Coolio, he'll have to step up big time as he's got a good angle, and he's even got Tarzi to back him up, but it's Coolio who actually peeks out wide to finish off Tarzi's dirty work. Madden and Tarzi still coming in, chiming in. Stomp has been left alone in a 1 versus 4. I don't think there's any way he wins this, and Madden proves me right over there. 3 kills for Madden. Great positioning overall coming up from Budapest 5 in that round.
Yeah, and with no bomb plant there for Honoris, they will only be working with 3,400 in the kill bonuses they found in the previous round. That's just not enough to work with, probably. I mean, we'll see, though. They're still... I mean, for the score being so close, it feels like Budapest 5 are just walking to the finish line right now. I mean, maybe Honoris has something to show right now, but it will be very difficult. Taz goes for the aggressive play towards door. Interesting approach. Ooh, good nade, but just a little late on the timing there for the player on the floor. But Neo somehow finds a kill on Amada, and I think that's towards outside. Yes, it is. So maybe that will give them some avenue to find a victory here. Flashy, though, playing very well around outside, will take his life, and now he knows where most of these players are coming from. A spray from Flashy will find 2 more. He finds the 3rd as well. Can he find the ace? He will not, and Stomp is in a 1v3.
Well, there you go, 16-13, and a 2-0 finish comes out for Budapest 5, closing things out in their favor. Really nicely done at the end of the day, you know, even with Modern being on their CT side, and that is a bit of a handicap that unfortunately they were dealt with. But I think the overall outcome should have probably been the same regardless of Modern being added. He did have some really good rounds towards the end of things, but realistically, Badito was probably be able to do similar, or at least contribute enough so that they should still be able to come across the finish line. Honoris, their playbook looked a bit shallow on the Nuke T side, but Maui, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I think you should be proud of your Honoris.
Oh yeah, for sure. They haven't showed them the best results on Nuke. You can see that I think they've integrated an A exec, which worked out, which was one of the few T side rounds that they accomplished.
Yeah.
But other than the pistol round on their T side, they only won the anti-eco, and then they won their A exec, and then they won the anti-eco off the A exec. So, I mean, good for them for having a very solid CT side. I'm sure that they worked on that, and it looks pretty nice for them. But they still have a lot to come up with when it comes to the rest of the rounds. They couldn't win any other gun rounds throughout the entire half, and it was looking promising for them for a while. I think they were up at one point, what was it, 13-6,
I think.
6. Yeah, that's crazy. So I gotta end out.
No, sorry, it was 11-6. My bad. 11-6.
Wait, 1, 2, 3,
11-6
6,
and
7.
13-9.
Oh, 13-9.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. 13-9. Right. That looks all right. So yeah. So props though to Budapest 5. They really showed that there's a reason that they're picking Nuke here. They show that why they have a 90% win rate in the last 3 months, and now that just bumps up. They are at this point undefeated